All right, welcome back to another game of Quick Play Baseball. I'm going to finish out a game that I started in a video yesterday. We're going to be playing the full play version of the game, and I'll be finishing that off. In later videos, I'll do more with the quick and medium play versions of the game. So we're good to go. We have our cards shuffled. And again, if you haven't seen how this works, it is we use this chart here. And you can see the chart will come like this, and you just print it off. We have our strategy plays here. Red means that the play is unsuccessful. Green means that it's successful. And then we have our just regular chart here with our 2 to ace. So just a regular full deck of 52 cards, and then you have all the suits here. So you basically just read it. You cross-reference a 2 of hearts is a strikeout. A 6 of spades is a flyout to center field. And the numbers here correspond to the numbers of the positions on the field. We do have some unusual plays and rare plays that can be done. So whether it comes off of less than 2, so if it's less than 2, then we're going to use the rare plays for the pitcher, and if it's greater than an ace, then we're going to use the rare plays for the batter, because good things happen as you go toward the ace for the batter. Bad things happen for the batter as you go toward the 2. All right, so it's 1-0 in this one. John Smoltz is taking on Jack Armstrong, and I'll be playing with the pitchers in this one. So if a pitcher needs to come out, or if we get into a situation where we need to change out a pitcher, we don't have any proper stamina or anything like that in the game. It's just some people like to go first 7 innings and then you change the pitchers. Some people like to just do it by situations. So it's kind of however you want to do the pitchers. So let me just pull up my pitching staffs here, and we're good to go. Okay, so top of the second inning, it's going to be Sid Bream, Greg Olson, and Rafael Belliard for who is this? For Atlanta. All right, so what we do is we flip a card, we reference the play chart, and that's pretty much how it plays. So queen, we look here. We do have our adjustments here. So these are batter adjustments. A +1 means, like for a queen, it would become a king. For a 7, it would become an 8. We don't make any adjustments to the suit themselves, only to the number of the card. So Sid Bream is no adjustment. Greg Olson, Rafael Belliard, none of them have adjustments. John Smoltz actually has a -1 adjustment, which makes could turn, like, let's say a queen of hearts would turn a walk into a fly out to center field. So as you go this way on the chart and it's negative, these are better things for the defense as you get lower. They're better things for the offense as you get higher. So if you have a +2, that means you could potentially turn a fly ball into center field into a single if you had a +2. So you can see how things change in favor of each of the batters. These pluses and minuses are based off of the player's WOBA. I believe it's 370 or greater gets a +2. 350 to 370 or 340 to 370, I can't remember what the range is, gets a +1, and then everybody below that gets a 0. If you're less than a 300 WOBA, maybe it's 300 to like 340 or 350 is a 0. And then if you're less than 300, you're at a minus number, -1. So Sid Bream has a queen of hearts. That's going to be a walk, as he takes the leadoff walk in the second. And Bream is at first. The next card is a king of diamonds. That's going to be a single. And in the game, very simple base running rules. You go as many bases as the number of bases for the hit. So a single is 1 base, double 2 bases, triple 3 bases. And then with 2 outs, everybody gets an extra base. So 2 outs with a runner at first would put runners at first base and third base. He would get second base plus an extra. Okay, we do have a joker. Jokers, I'm not going to play in this game. So you can do jokers so that they are rare plays. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a joker as a rare play. So I have that in the game guide. You can see some of the rare plays when a joker comes into play. So what we do is we draw that. We draw another card. It's going to be a 4. A 4 is a 2 base error. So this runner Belliard is going to wind up at second on an error. This guy goes 2 bases. This guy goes 2 bases, and he's going to score on the error. You'll have to make up what the error was. I don't have anything for that, but nobody out and runners at second and third now. For the Braves, the game is tied up at 1. Whenever you get a joker, you should remove it. So you only get a couple of rare play chances per game. 6 of diamonds is going to be a pop-up to the shortstop. So that is John Smoltz making out number 1. And back to the top of the order with Lonnie Smith. Smith is a +1, so an 8. So 7 becomes an 8, and that's going to be a ground out to third. 5-3 on the put out. And I'm going to say, for the sake of pitching, that the runners do not advance. You can play it that runners all advance on a fielder's choice or not. And then finally we have a strikeout from the Limmer. And that's going to end the inning as Armstrong gets out of that, having given up only 1 run. Could have been a lot worse. And we head to the bottom of the second inning. It will be Bill Doran, Billy Hatcher, and Joe Oliver for Cincinnati. Let's go ahead and do a quick shuffle. I'm going to shuffle between every half inning. Okay, and I'm going to spare you the shuffling, so I'm not going to do it on camera or anything. I actually have a little card shuffler that I purchased because I was doing some card-based games. This is one of them, but occasionally I will create a game based off of playing cards, and that shuffler just, man, it's worth it. 15-20 bucks on Amazon, and it's just battery powered, and I haven't had to change the batteries in a year or something like that. I don't use it every day, but it's been a good little thing. I just kind of keep it off to the side whenever I need to do some shuffles, and especially when you're doing it every half inning, it can put a lot of stress on your hands. So if you're going to do the shuffling that frequently, I do advise purchasing just a quick little card shuffler. Bill Doran is up against Johnny Smoltz. This is going to be, he's a 0, so this is going to be a 10 of spades. That's a fly out to left field. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's these little asterisks on here sometimes. That means that the runners advance. So it's a deep fly ball. If there's a runner at third base, he's going to score on a sac fly, that kind of thing. So Billy Hatcher up next. Hatcher also a 0, so this is going to be a walk to Billy Hatcher. Joe Oliver to the plate. 10 of hearts is a fly out to deep left field, and the runner is going to advance on the fly out. So we have runner at second base with the pitcher Jack Armstrong up. Armstrong is a -1, so it becomes a 7 of clubs. That's a little 4-3 put out. The Limmer has it, and down goes Cincinnati in the bottom of the second inning. We'll head to the top of the third. It'll be Pendleton, Justice, and Gant. All right, so we come to the top of the third inning. This game is tied at 1. In the first inning, Hal Morris scored on a double from Barry Larkin, and in the last inning we had a run scored on an error, a two-base error, a rare play with Belliard at the plate. Up stands Pendleton, 319 average. In 1991 he had 22 homers, 86 RBIs, and an excellent player, 384 WOBA in 1991. So he stands in 1 for 1. He had a single in his first at bat. He's got a +2, so this becomes a little ground out 2-3 on the put out. That's going to be out number 1. Next up is Dave Justice. Justice 0 for 1. He's also a +2, so this becomes an ace of diamonds, and that is going to be a base hit for Mr. Justice. Justice with 21 homers and 87 RBIs in 1991. I think I misspoke yesterday. I said that they won the World Series. They didn't. They won the National League pennant, but they lost in the World Series to the Twins. The Braves did. Next up is Ronnie Gant. This queen becomes an ace of spades, and you can see that that move right there means that Ron Gant goes yard, and that's going to be a 2-run jack for Ron Gant. He did a lot of that in 1991. And Gant had 32 homers and 105 RBIs in 1991. One of the things I forgot to play that we should account for is the pitchers. So it won't matter when the Braves are batting. Jack Armstrong is a 0. But whenever the Reds are batting, we should also do a -1 for... we should do a -1 against all these guys. So a 0 becomes a -1, +2 becomes a +1. So that factors in the pitcher into the game. So 2-run homer. It's now 3-1 Atlanta over Cincinnati. Up next is Sid Bream. He had a walk in his first at bat. In this at bat, he is going to fly out to center field. That'll be out number 2. And Greg Olson stands in. Olson, the catcher, he is going to ground out to second base. But the Braves do get 2 runs on the Ron Gant home run. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 3-1 Atlanta. Right, the Reds will send up the top of the order in this inning: Mariano Duncan, Hal Morris, and Barry Larkin. Duncan grounded out to the second baseman in his first at bat, and we're going to account for Johnny Smoltz here. So this is a -1 to Mariano Duncan. That becomes a 9 of diamonds. That is a 5-3 putout as Pendleton makes the long throw across the diamond. Brings up Hal Morris. Morris with a double and a run scored in the first at bat. +2 becomes a +1, so this is going to be a king of diamonds. That is a base hit, so Hal Morris 2 for 2. And Morris stands at first for Barry Larkin, also a +1. So an 8 of diamonds is going to be a 4-3. And we'll go with the 4-3 fielder's choice. That's out number 2. I don't have any double plays in this game, but maybe you can add them if you wanted to. It is Paul O'Neill to the plate. O'Neill, left-handed stick. He grounded out to second in his first at bat. He's a +1, so that with the -1 becomes a 0. So a 6 of clubs is going to be a pop out to the second baseman, and that will end the inning. So Johnny Smoltz is cooking in this one. Go to the top of the 4th. It's 3-1 Atlanta over Cincinnati. Okay, we're at the top of the 4th inning. It'll be the bottom of the order: Belliard, pitcher Smoltz, and then back to Lonnie Smith. Shuffling after every half inning might seem a little excessive to you, but ideally what you want to do is you want to use an application or to shuffle after every at bat. What you want is a pure 1 out of 52 random chance. that only happens if you use a random, if every single draw is random. So if you use an application or a website or something like that, where you can flip a random card every single time, that it's a pure 1 out of 52 chance, that's going to match what this chart was based on to a T. The way we do it every half inning is, as soon as you draw 1, now your chances are 1 out of 51. As soon as you draw 2, it's 1 out of 50. So your odds change as you draw cards. So the more cards you draw out, the more your odds change, and it kind of skews the statistics a little bit. It might add to the gameplay and make it a little bit more fun. But if you want realism to the era, what you really need is a random draw, which I've actually gone back and I'm working on just a really totally basic random draw application. I've put this game as an online version. I only have 1978 done because that was the year I think that I started with whenever I did the game. So I actually created a digital version of this game that you can play, but it's only 1978. But you can play with the pictures, and it gives all the different adjustments that you need to have to play the quick play version online. But for this version here, I don't have and that has a random draw, so that's no problem. But I have to make sure that the random draw is for all the cards. I have it set up for the quick play version right now, so just trying to work on that and at least provide a little application that just says, hey, touch this card. It gives you a totally random draw every time. So that's kind of where that stands. And hopefully, maybe I can work on that today. I could probably knock it out today if I was to just work on it. I think I could just get it would just be a single application where you just see a deck of cards and you literally just touch it and flip a card, and it gives you a completely random 1 out of 52 chance every time. So still need to get that done. Once that's done, that will be a better system than even a manual card flip. So just to kind of let you know how the game goes. All right, Rafi Belliard, he got on via a 2-base error in his first at bat. No such luck here. He's going to pop out to third base, and that'll be out number 1. Smoltz to the plate. Smoltz is a -1, so his king becomes a queen of clubs, and he still knocks one through for a base hit. So runner at first now with Lonnie Smith coming to the bat. 4 becomes a 5. 5 is another pop-up. You can see how one person got there because they drew a 5 of diamonds. This guy's a 4 of diamonds, but we still get a pop-up to third in the same inning. So that's 2 down in the inning with the runner at first, and the Lemmer stands in. He has a 10 of clubs. That's going to be an error, just a 1-base error. And that will allow Smoltz to go to second. So runners at first and second with the ever-dangerous Terry Pendleton to the plate. A 9 becomes a jack, and a jack is going to be a fly ball to center field. So that fly out is going to end the inning. There's like extra tag ups and base running there, but with 3 outs, it doesn't matter. So Jack Armstrong gets out of the 4th. Good job pitching around a couple of issues there, a single and an error, and the Braves strand 2. They lead 3-1 in this game. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 3-1 Atlanta. Chris Sabo, Bill Doran, and Billy Hatcher are up for the Reds. This is a king. We have a +1 adjustment after we account for John Smoltz. And so a king becomes an ace of hearts is a single. So Chris Sabo, the goggled one, on with the single. Chris Sabo feels like someone we might steal with. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's try a little steal here. So we have on our strategy plays chart, we have a steal. That's this 3rd column. And you can see that if we draw a 6 or higher, he's going to be in there safely with the steal. So let's see what it is. it's a jack, and Chris Sabo is in there with the stolen base as he reaches second base. Now that's not graded out by a player's speed or anything like that. It's just the average stolen base percentage for that particular era. All right, and it's going to be Bill Doran to the plate. Bill Doran is a 0, but with the adjustment it becomes a -1, so that single becomes a single, and that'll move the runner to third base. So station to station here, but we got runners at first and third with nobody out, and Johnny Smoltz on the ropes a little bit. Billy Hatcher, he's a -1, and so that's going to be a fly ball to center field. It will score the run from third on the sac fly, and that's going to be 3-2 our score now as Cincinnati cuts into the lead. Joe Oliver with an 8 of spades is going to ground out to third base, so this will be out number 1. We're going to go ahead and take the fielder's choice. Anytime I can get the lead runner, I like to do that. So we'll say 5-4 on the fielder's choice. And the last hitter is Jack Armstrong, still in the game. He's a -2 along with Smoltz's -1. So -1 is -2. That becomes a 10 of clubs. That's going to be an error. And we have 2 on with Mariano Duncan coming to the plate. His 6 becomes a 5. That's going to be a liner to the third baseman. Pendleton gets a glove up, and that's going to end the inning. But Cincinnati does get another run, and they are down by 1, 3-2 in this as we go to the top of the 5th. Okay, and up in the 5th inning is going to be Dave Justice, Ron Gant, and Sid Bream. Justice 1 for 2. Ronnie Gant with a 2-run homer in his last at bat has put the Braves up 3-2. Just a quick note on pitching. You can put some, just kind of, I don't have this necessarily codified or anything, but you can put starters down. They can go 7 innings before you have to replace them. You could do it by grade. So the pitchers are graded out. John Smoltz is a B. So you could generally say A pitchers can go 9 innings, B pitchers 8 innings, C pitchers 7 innings, something like that. And then, or you can use their minus numbers. So a -2 pitcher, which essentially is an A pitcher, then he can go 9 innings. A -1 pitcher can go 8. A 0 pitcher can go 7, something like that. And then each reliever can go for an inning. I realize that if you want to play it a little bit more like normal, then you could do that. But again, this is a quick play game. This is not meant to be a total simulation of baseball. If you want that, you should play a game like ABBA or Strat or Payoff Pitch or Inside Pitch, or the new game that I'm developing, Precision Baseball, or not out of the park, but On Base Baseball, which is another game I have in production. So this is more of a sort of a quick, you might call it an impressionist view, not a photorealistic view of baseball. All right, so David Justice, Ron Gant, and Sid Bream. Dave Justice is 1 for 2, single with a run scored in his last at bat. He's a +2. So an 8 becomes a 10, and that is going to be a fly ball to left field. So a couple of flyouts for him. That's out number 1, and Ron Gant stands in. He's 1 for 2 with a homer and 2 RBIs. He is a +1, so a king becomes an ace, and an ace of diamonds is a base hit. So Ronnie Gant on base with 1 out. Sid Bream, El Cid, is going to be a jack of hearts. That's a fly out to deep center field. That's going to advance the runner on the fly ball. So 2 outs, we have a runner in scoring position for Greg Olson. Base hit, scores a run, and Olson is going to walk. So that'll put runners at the corners. And Rafael Belliard to the plate. Oh, Belliard with another joker. So we have our both of the jokers have come up for Belliard. It's kind of weird randomness. Okay, so we'll draw, and then we'll see what the play is. It is a balk. So a balk is going to put a runner at third, a runner at second, and we'll continue to roll for Belliard because it doesn't complete the at-bat. So for Rafi, it is a grounder. A little tapper out in front, 2-3 is going to be the put out, and the Braves threaten with 2 in scoring position, but can't get them home. They still lead this one 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. All right, in the bottom of the 5th inning, it's going to be Hal Morris, Barry Larkin, and Paul O'Neill. Hal Morris, 2 for 2. He's got a double and a single in this one. Facing off against Smoltz. He's a +2, so that's really a +1. And an ace of diamonds is another double. So a 2-bagger for Hal Morris, who is hot in this one. And the Reds have a runner in tying run in scoring position for Barry Larkin. Larkin is a +1, so this is going to be a 9 of spades. That's a fly ball to center field. It's deep enough to drive the runner to third. And that's going to be a runner in scoring position for Paul O'Neill. O'Neill 0 for 2. He's even up after the -1 for Smoltz. So a 3 of clubs is going to be a strikeout swinging, and that's a killer for the Reds. But Chris Sabo, last hope here, he's 1 for 2. He has a single, a stolen base, and a run scored. He's a +1. A 5 of club, or 5 of spades is going to be a liner to third. So L5 on the putout. Smoltz gets around a leadoff double, and Cincinnati strands 1 at third base. Still 3-2 our score. Good one here as we head to the top of the 6th inning. All right, and in the top of the 6th, it's going to be Johnny Smoltz, and then Lonnie Smith and Mark Lemke. Now, we're going to just go by this sort of scale that I've talked about before. So a -1 pitcher can go 8 innings max. So Johnny Smoltz is going to go, he's going to get another at bat. He's 1 for 2. He's got the lead 3-2, and we're going to leave him in there until we absolutely need to change that. And what you could do if the pitcher goes past his mark, so if he wants to go into the 9th inning, then his -1 gets a +1 added to it, and he becomes a 0. So he has very less effect on the game on the batter. So you could do something like that. And in fact, I'll do that in this game. So if he winds up trying to go for a complete game, then he'll have to pitch that last inning as a 0. So Jack of diamonds. Smoltz is a -1. Jack Armstrong, again, has no effect on the game. In fact, he's going to have to... he's in there right now. This will be his last inning of work. We'll pinch it for him the next time up or have to replace him. So Jack of diamonds, it's a -1. He becomes a 10 of diamonds. That is a fly ball to right field. Smoltz is now 1 for 3. And it's Lonnie Smith to the plate. Lonnie Smith, 0 for 3. He's done about everything you can do here except get a hit. He's a +1 on his rating, and so a 5 becomes a 6, and that is a little tapper out in front of the plate. I'm going to go 2-3 on the putout. And that brings up the limmer. Lemke 1 for 3. He is going to strike out here, though, as he strikes out swinging. And good inning there from Jack Armstrong in his final inning. He lets it all out, and it is still a 3-2 lead for Atlanta as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Okay, for the Reds, it's going to be Bill Doran, Billy Hatcher, and Joe Oliver. So bottom of the order for the Reds. If someone gets on, then we can have the opportunity to pinch hit for Jack Armstrong. Bill Doran is going to be instead of a 10 of hearts, he's a 9 because of Smoltz. So that's going to be a ground out to the shortstop. no problem there for Belliard as he gets it over to first in time. Doran is out number 1. Billy Hatcher stands in. Hatcher 0 for 1 with a walk. He's a 9 of diamonds. That is a 5-3 put out as Pendleton makes a good peg across the diamond. And that's going to bring up Joe Oliver, the catcher. He's 0 for 2. He hit into a fielder's choice his last at bat. He's also a -1. So that becomes a queen of spades, and that's a long single for him. Nobody on base, so that doesn't matter. And we are going to get a pinch hitter for Jack Armstrong. All right, it'll be Glenn Braggs, the pinch hitter in the 6th inning for the Reds. 260 hitter, and he had 11 homers and 39 RBIs in 1991. He'll face off against Johnny Smoltz. There is a man at first base and 2 outs. Braggs is a 0, and so that makes him a -1. So an 8 of spades is going to be a 5-3 put out as Pendleton with a long throw across the diamond, and that's going to end the 6th inning. So Cincinnati does not score. They strand 1. We head to the top of the 7th. It's 3-2 Atlanta, and they will send up the heart of the order, Pendleton, Justice, and Gant. All right, the new pitcher for Cincinnati is going to be Randy Myers, and we're just going to go probably 7, 8, 9 with the we're going to go with the Nasty Boys in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So Myers, Charlton, and Dibble. For the Braves, it'll be Pendleton, Justice, and Gant. Pendleton 1 for 3. Randy Myers is a -1, by the way. So Randy Myers, a king of diamonds, so that's a +1 now. So it becomes an ace of diamonds. That's a base hit. Second hit of the day for Terry Pendleton. TP at first base. And Dave Justice to the plate, 1 for 3 in this one. He's a +1, so 2 becomes a 3, and that's going to be a foul out to the first baseman. And catching it in foul territory is Hal Morris, 1 down in the inning. 3-2 is our score. Braves lead over Cincinnati, and this has been a well-pitched ball game so far. Let's see how it turns out in the end. Ron Gant, a 2 for 3 day with a home run and a single. He's got 2 RBIs. He is a +1, so he's canceled out by this Myers -1. A 7 of hearts is a fly ball, can of corn into center field. That's going to be out number 2. No advancement by the runner. And dangerous one here, as Sid Bream is going to be a -1 because of the pitcher. So an ace becomes a king, and a king is a long single, which with 2 outs, every single is a long single, so that pushes the runner to third base. A long single just means that the guy hitting the ball gets a single, but all the other runners move up 2 bases instead of 1. And Greg Olson to the plate with runners at first and third. He is 1 for 2. He has been on base a couple times. His queen becomes a jack of spades, and that's going to be a walk. That'll load the bases. Myers in a little bit of hot water here as he's got the bases loaded with 2 out, but it is Rafael Belliard to the plate. Belliard will be a -1. Oh, that ace becomes a king. A king of diamonds is a base knock, and everybody's going to move up 1 base. That's an RBI single for Rafi Belliard. And with 2 outs, we're going to leave Johnny Smoltz in there. He can still pitch in this game, so we're going to leave him in there. Smoltzy is going to be a -2 as you add these 2 together. So a 6 of hearts will be a little tapper in front of the plate. We're going to go 2-3 on the putout, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. But the Braves do score 1 more. It's now 4-2 Atlanta over Cincinnati. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be the top of the order, 4th time through the order for Johnny Smoltz. Duncan, Morris, and Larkin for the Reds. The Reds are down 4-2 now, and Johnny Smoltz trying to close this one out. Mariano Duncan 0 for 3 on the day. He's going to be a -1 because of Smoltz. So that makes him a 2 of diamonds, and that is a strikeout swinging. First strikeout of the day for Duncan. And that is only strikeout number 2 for John Smoltz. Hal Morris is 3 for 3. He's got 2 doubles and a single. He is a +2, which makes him a +1 with John Smoltz adjustment. And Akeem becomes an ace, and he goes yard in this one. And he's going to find himself only a triple shy of the cycle, as he is now 4 for 4. He's got an RBI and 2 runs scored, and that cuts the lead to 4 to 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Barry Larkin stands in. He's going to be a +1. A 4 of clubs. It's going to be a foul out, a little pop up to the catcher behind the plate, and that will be out number 2. Smoltz 1 out away from getting out of this 7th with the lead. He's got to go through Paul O'Neill though. O'Neill is a +1 with Smoltzy's -1. That's a 0, and a 2 of clubs is going to be a strikeout. So bookend strikeouts in this inning for John Smoltz, and that's going to take care of the Reds. The Reds do get 1 back. It's now 4 to 3 Atlanta over Cincinnati, and we head to the top of the 8th. All right, top of the 8th we go. Lonnie Smith, Mark Lemke, and Terry Pendleton, top of the order for the Braves. They'll face off against the new pitcher, Norm Charlton, one of the 3 nasty boys. Randy Myers goes 1 inning, gives up 3 hits and 1 run on the RBI single from Rafael Belliard. He did get out of a bases loaded jam, and the lead is 4 to 3 after the Hal Morris solo home run in the bottom of the 7th. Let's see if Charlton can keep it close. He's a -2, so he's basically going to cancel out these guys and make everybody else a minus. So good pitcher. He's an A-level pitcher, throwing from the left side, and he is facing Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith is 0 for 5 at the top of the Braves order. His +1 becomes a -1 because of Charlton. So a 9 - 1 is 8, and that will be a fly ball into left field. And that's out number 1. Lonnie Smith, 0 for 5 so far on the day. Brings up the Lemmer. He's 1 for 4. And 8 becomes a 6. And that will be a fly ball into center field. 2 quick outs for the Reds. And it'll be Terry Pendleton to the plate. Pendleton 2 for 4. He's a +2, so that becomes a 0. And a 7 of diamonds is a fly ball to right field. So all the outfielders got into this one as the Braves hit it to left, center, and right. And Norm Charlton shuts down this Braves offense in the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4 to 3 is our score, Atlanta over Cincinnati. All right, Johnny Smoltz goes out for the 8th inning. He can go 8 without any sort of penalty. He is a -1 pitcher. And he is going to face off against Chris Sabo, Bill Doran, and Billy Hatcher. Sabo 1 for 3 in this game. He's normally a +2, but Smoltz knocks him down to a +1. A jack of spades is going to be a walk, and that's a good start for the Reds in this one. And that will bring up Bill Doran. Doran is a 0, so that makes him a -1. A 7 of clubs will be a 4-3 put out. We're going to go 4-6 on the fielder's choice and cut down that runner at second base. That would be the good play. And that will bring up Billy Hatcher. Billy Hatcher also a -1. So this king becomes a queen. And a queen of clubs will be a single. Going to second base is going to be Bill Doran. And Joe Oliver to the plate. He's 1 for 3 in this game. A 5 becomes a 4, so a 4 of diamonds is a line out to the second baseman. And that'll be out number 2. All runners hold. And we need to get another pinch hitter in for the pitcher spot. All right, the new pinch hitter is going to be Luis Quinones. Quinones, 281 WOBA. He had just a 222 average in 1991, but he comes in off the bench to face Johnny Smoltz. He's a 0, by the way. And so he'll be a -1 in this at bat. He's got runners at first and second, but 2 outs. And this 5 becomes a 4, and a 4 of hearts is right back to Johnny Smoltz. He grabs it and throws it to first, and that's going to end the inning. So Smoltzy gets out of the 8th. No runs scored. We head to the top of the 9th inning. Braves still ahead, 4-3, and the heart of the order coming up for the Bravos. All right, to the top of the 9th inning we go. It is going to be Atlanta sending up Dave Justice, Ron Gant, and Sid Bream to the plate. They'll be facing off against Rob Dibble. Forgot to put him in the game. Dibble, a big right-hander. He is going to be a -2. Charlton goes 1 inning, and he gives up no runs. He gives up a whole lot of nothing. No strikeouts. Phase 3. And he did his job shutting down this Braves top of the order. It's going to be the middle, Dave Justice, Gant, and Bream. Justice is 1 for 4. Dibble's a -2, so he's going to cancel out both. He's going to cancel out Justice's +2. So this is just a straight up 2 of spades, and that's going to be a strikeout looking as Dibble freezes him on the big overhand curveball. It's going to be Ron Gant to the plate with 1 out. Gant is 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. His +1 becomes a -1 because of Dibble. So a 7 becomes a 6, and that'll be a pop-up to the shortstop. Larkin is there on the outfield grass, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. Brings up Sid Bream. Bream 1 for 3. He's a 0, so that becomes a -2. A -2 is going to be a queen of hearts, and that is a walk instead of a single. And Bream at first base. That's his second walk of the day. Speaking of, brings up Greg Olson. Olson with 2 walks. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a couple of walks in this game. His 0 is a -2, so that becomes a 10. A 10 of hearts is a fly ball to left field, and the left fielder is there. It's Mariano Duncan. He'll squeeze it for out number 3, and that is 3 down in the inning. Good job by Rob Dibble as he strands a runner at first base. And we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. This one very close, and we're going to have to make some decisions about Smoltzy. Do we want to leave him in the game or bring in the closer? Let me take a look at that, and we'll be right back with the bottom of the 9th inning. All right, decided to make a call to the bullpen here. Bottom of the 9th inning. It is 4-3, Atlanta over the Cincinnati Reds. It'll be Juan Berenguer coming into the game. He is a -2 pitcher. So just put that there. So he's a -2. Smoltzy was going to drop down to a 0, so might as well bring him in with just a 1-run lead. And Berenguer, 17 saves. He had a 2.24 ERA in 64 innings pitched in 1991. I thought maybe it was going to be Bedrosian, but not Bedrosian this year. Mark Wohlers, I think, was a rookie. He only had about 20 innings pitched, so this is sort of like just before the Wohlers era. And Berenguer and Mike Stanton were the 2. I think by the time they got to the World Series, it was Stanton who was throwing in the highest leverage situations. But we got the 1, 2, 3 hitters for Cincinnati. It'd be Duncan, Morris, and Larkin. Duncan is 0 for 4, and he's facing off against Juan Berenguer. So Duncan's 0 becomes a -2, and that's going to be a play off of our rare unusual plays because it goes below a 2. So a 5 is going to be outfielder robs the home run. Look at that. As Mariano Duncan tries to go yard, we'll just call that an F8. And wow. So a game-tying home run gets brought back at the wall, and they are going nuts on the Braves bench. What a play. That brings up Hal Morris. Hal Morris, 4 for 4. He is a triple shy of the cycle. He has a home run, 2 doubles, a single, and an RBI. Hal Morris is going to be a even Steven here. So this is a 4 of clubs. That's going to be a pop-up to the catcher. So he catches that in foul ground. Olsen with the squeeze, and that's out number 2. Braves now 1 out away from securing a 4-3 victory. Larkin is a +2. Berenger is a -2. So this is straight up. A jack of clubs will be a walk, so not so fast, my friend. As the tying run is now at first, and the winning run comes to the plate in the form of Paul O'Neill. Tall, slender, young, left-handed hitting right fielder Paul O'Neill. He's 0 for 4. He's got a couple of strikeouts, and we have a big-time chance here. This is going to be a -1 to Paul O'Neill. So his ace becomes a king, and that king is a double, and not only a double, but that's the normal double, but he's got an asterisk, so that run scores from first. And just like that, we are tied as Berenger blows the save against the Reds. Now he's just looking to hang on for the win. It's going to be Chris Sabo up. Sabo's a +2, so this is going to be even up. A queen of spades is going to be a long single, and just like that, before you know it, the Reds strike for 2 in the 9th inning, and they're going to win this one by a score of 5-4 over the Braves. And how about them apples? 2-run single from Chris Sabo. 2-run double from Paul O'Neill brings in Barry Larkin. 2-run single brings in Chris Sabo. And this game is over. What a finish. As Juan Berenger, probably should have just left Smoltz in, huh? As Juan Berenger takes it on the chin, and he's going to take the loss in this one. The win is going to go to Rob Dibble, who throws 1 inning. And this one is over, just like that. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5-4 is our score, as the Atlanta Braves lose a shocker, as Smoltz was in control the entire time, and they lose this one 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Excellent game. Again, this is called Quick Play Baseball. You can go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, and you can look in the baseball section, or you can shop all the games, and you will find all of the quick play eras. Now, I don't sell it as seasons. I sell it as groups of seasons. So this is from the free agency era, which I believe is 1970. Let me look. The free agency era goes from 77 to 93, so you'll get those 16 seasons. And every player is graded or rated for this game. So they all have they're rated for the quick play version and for the medium and long play versions. There is, we have 7. So there's the dead ball era, 1901 to 1919. The live ball era, 1920 to 1941. The integration era, 1942 to 1960. The expansion era, 1961 to 1976. The free agency era, 1977 to 1993. The steroid era, 1994 to 2005. Or the post-steroid era, which is sort of what we're currently in, 2006 to 2022. Maybe the next era is going to be the pitch clock era. I don't know. But that's definitely like a big deal, you know, what we're doing now. So this is Quick Play Baseball. Just go to the website. You'll see it. You can choose any of those eras. They're all $10 for a complete era. So if you wanted to do modern baseball, 2006 to 2022, it'll be $10. You get all those seasons. All those players are graded out for both the pitchers and the hitters, for the quick play game and for the longer playing, the medium and full play games. Again, you'll just need to provide 1 deck of cards. You can play all of the different modes with 1 deck of cards. You can switch between modes. You can play 1 game in the series. You can sort of quasi-simulate the games by playing out the games with the quick play mode and then play the ones that you really want to with a full play. So this is something you could use for an actual replay. I've never done a full replay before, but definitely could do that. I've replayed the 77 Dodgers, I think. They had a big win streak or something like that that I replayed just early on with the quick play version, just to see how it would stand up. I think they came up 2 or 3 games short of what they did in real life. They had a big September or something like that where they found themselves in the playoffs after a huge run. And so I don't think they would have made the playoffs using the quick play version, but they came up 2 or 3 games short of what they did in actual life. In any of the versions, whether you play the full play or the quick play, you can keep sort of high level statistics, who hit a home run, who drove in runs, that kind of thing. But when you play the full play game, you're playing it just like you would play any other tabletop baseball game. Again, you'll get, for whatever era you purchase, you're going to get the era-specific chart. That includes all of these plays here. Some of those are going to be era-specific, like the steals. And you're going to get era-specific rare and unusual plays. So something like this one, there's a triple to right field. That's considered a rare play because it's going to happen at a percentage of like a 1%. In earlier eras, like if you play dead ball or the live ball era, that triple actually shows up on the regular chart because there's enough of them that it shows up on the regular chart. And then maybe it's the home run that's actually the rare play. So there's lots of different things here. Ground rule doubles, some of them are not, they're just kind of uncommon, they're not rare. Wild pitch, a line drive, 2-base error, that kind of thing. I played with the jokers. You don't have to, because these are going to cover those plays. So you could use these to be when you draw a joker, then you go to the rare or unusual plays. Also, whenever the adjustment, like there's a 2 and the batter is a 0, but the pitcher is a -2, that 2 is going to drive you this way to less than 2. So at that point, because it's an advantage for the pitcher, you're going to just draw a card and then use these rare, unusual plays for the pitcher. That happened in the 9th inning as Mariano Duncan flied out to center field. It was a robbery of a home run and could have been a great play, but Cincinnati comes back with 2 in the bottom of the inning. So this was a really good one. Go and check that out. Again, it's ClarkandAddisonGaming.com. And I know I've been playing a lot of precision baseball here lately, but there are other games there. Quick play baseball is there. No Huddle Football is a game that uses a deck of cards as well, so worth checking out. Play Action Football is a dice-driven game. It's kind of a medium to full play football game. It's a play-by-play football game that you can play in less than 2 hours, so that's a kind of a rarity in our hobby. We have on-base baseball, which is more like an APBA mixed with Strat wrapped in sabermetrics. So I don't know how to say it better than that, but that's kind of what it is. So it's a sabermetric driven tabletop baseball game, but kind of has a look and feel of APBA and Strat, sort of a classic dice baseball game from back in the day. And then I have Up-Tempo Basketball, which is a quick to medium play basketball game. Again, that game has 2 modes of play. There's sort of the up-tempo version where you only play off the team stats, or you can use the player stats with full defense, and you won't get all of the plays out of it as far as statistics go, but you will get the effect of a player and his defense and his shooting ability and things like that. So 10 players per team, so top 10 players for each team in that season. We have 2 ABA seasons from the 1970s, and then all NBA seasons are going to come from 1979 up to today, to 2022. That's the latest NBA season I have rated. But within that span, there's like 2 or 3 seasons in the 80s. There's a couple seasons in the 90s. There's a couple seasons in the 2000s, like early 2000s, mid 2000s. And then we have 2021 and 22 as well, as far as modern seasons. So I'll be posting the newest season, 2023, the one that's still going on right now. I'll be posting that probably toward the end of the summer or the early fall. That way all the statistics will be complete, and we'll be able to get that out before the new NBA season starts. I don't have any projections for that, so I can't really do one as the season is going. But we can definitely do replays. So we'll post the season that just finished later in the year. Hopefully I can get Precision Baseball out this summer. I think it's getting quite a bit closer. So if you've been watching the videos for that, just know that I'm still continuing to work on that. This is kind of a palate cleanser. I'm in between series testing games, and I feel like maybe it's a good chance to just get a few of my games out there that I don't really talk about much on the channel. Now we're up to 160 plus subscribers here at the channel, which is great, and I'm very appreciative of everybody that that wants to take part in this venture of the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. And I'll continue to make games as long as everybody keeps buying them. As long as people are interested in what I'm doing, I will continue to make them. This one is truly a unique game as a quick play type game. You get all three modes with every purchase. So that $10 gets you all three modes of the game because everything is rated, and then you just switch out the cards and make it for each one. You'll also get all of these situation cards. So it doesn't matter what season you buy, you'll always get the file with all the situation cards in it. And the situation cards are the same. You can remove some of them if you wanted to, and then that changes what types of plays are available. You can actually craft this deck to include, like, you could do all nobody out and nobody on, and then have one bases loaded in there if you wanted to, and then that's all that's available to you if you really wanted to do something like that. So you can choose, you can really make this game what you want it to be and be kind of creative with what types of situations are available to you as a game player. Or you can just use them all and kind of let all the situations be there if you want to. But if you feel like the game doesn't have enough scoring, you can just remove some of those nobody on type cards and then begin to just have a few more situations where there are runners on base with opportunities. You can even only put those situations in there, and then that would bump the scoring up where you only have the cards with somebody on base. So every inning, somebody's on base. Or if you're playing the quick play game, maybe bump up and try to play the medium play game, which allows you to put yourself into the situation. So one out, nobody on. And then you have to play out the rest of the inning. So you got to get the other two outs. So it's basically playing a lot like this, except you get dropped down into the inning and you have to continue to play the rest of that inning out. So anything you want to do there is okay. And however you want to play those modes is fine too. The game guide is not very long, so you can actually check that out. I don't know if I have that on the free section, but I do. You can actually go to the free section of the ClarkandAddisonGaming.com, and you can see the game guide for Quick Play Baseball. So you can get a sense of how the game is played at the different modes, and then also has some contact information for me. If you ever want to reach out to me, you can use the contact form at the website, or you can email me at clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com. Either one of those is okay. You can also connect with me on Facebook. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, then go to Facebook, go to groups, search for Clark and Addison Gaming Company, and you'll be able to find our group there. It's a private group, so there's no spammers or craziness going on in there. Just people who are interested in my games or the company, and people who want to either share the games that they're playing or have questions about the games. That's a good place to ask questions. It's a good place for resources in the file section. If you want to test out the new Precision Baseball, that's how you'll be able to find the files. You can also email me if you want, and I'll send you the files, but you can go there and into the file section and download all those files you need to play the demo teams, as well as some other free games like Dice Baseball or Dice Basketball 2024, which was a fun basketball game, kind of in production, still thinking through, and some things like that I started back in January-ish or so, December, January of this year. So that game is on hold. There's a golf game that's on hold. There's just a lot of things that that you're able to play. Some of them are just kind of on the back burner. I haven't forgotten about them. I can only focus on one thing at a time. So just one man, and so I can only focus on one thing at a time. And this precision baseball game is a big one. So it's got a lot of moving parts and a lot of fun, but it's a big game and will be a big game. All right. I think that's it from here. If you haven't click subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Super easy way to support what I'm doing here. And be on the lookout for more videos like this one in the next week or so. And I will get back to playing some more precision baseball. I've got a couple more charts I need to just kind of work through and add. And then I think the base running section will be in a really good spot. So there's lots of good things coming with that. So be on the lookout for that as well. I'm going to have to cut out 2 new teams. So that's why I'm kind of in an in-between spot. I got to print and cut a couple of new teams to play against one another, and we'll see what we can do. I'm leaning toward like Yankees, Red Sox. So we'll get the Yankees on the table from 2023 and see what in the world happened with them last year. They are killing it this year, but what happened last year? And we'll find out. All right, I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.